Hi and welcome to a new Vinyl Finds video. A special one, a Boobalicious funky Vinyl Finds video. And people who have seen the previous ones know there's a special disclaimer and it also applies to this video. So if you don't like boobs but you like funky music, cover your eyes. On the other hand, if you don't like funky music but you like boobs, cover your ears. And the first album very well fits this theme. And the first album is released in 1970 in France. I think you already guessed that. It's by Philippe Nichot, Erotico. And Philippe is a singer-actor and he is singing that wonderful dandy singing voice. And as you can see from the cover, the theme is of course erotic. And I don't think it's from a movie, but as well it could have been. Easy. And the album is filled with suggestions, hints, but on the other hand it's very rich in its colors. So it moves from sweet bossa nova to pop songs to even some nice funky numbers. And that's the next one I want to sample.
Sein de cachemire, tu te balades sans rien dessous sur ta ceinture qui prend tes reins, glisse des yeux, rêve des mains, aux cuisses nues.
And for the next album we move to the US, an album released on the MPS label from Germany in 1972. It's Don Sugarcane Harris with Fiddler on the Rock. And Don Harris started out as a guitar player, wasn't much successful, and he dropped the guitar and picked up the violin. And that's what you're hearing. What you can also see on the cover. When you concentrate on the instrument you see a violin and not a guitar. It fooled me also the first time. So what you're getting is a violin that sometimes sounds frantic, but on most of the time sounds beautiful. You get a great jazz funk album with a bluesy edge. And Don Harris, he played on a lot of backing bands with his violin, for example for Frank Zappa, but also for John Mayall. And it is the backing band, or where he was part of the John Mayall backing band, that is helping him on this album. And one of the best tracks on this album is the opening, and that is the Eleanor Rigby cover from the Beatles. And for the next album we move to Italy, released in 1972 on the Phase 6 Supersound label. And honestly, I don't know much about the music, the label or the artist. The artist is Nilton Castro and the album is called Rhythm and Soul. And it is really an album for summertime. It's filled with Cuban Latin goodness, and I think Nilton Castro is percussionist. I'm sure his vocal is also on the record, and what you're getting is a lot of nice nuggets, sometimes with a funky touch, mostly with a bossa nova Latin touch. One of the more funky tracks is the next one I want to sample. And for the next album, we move back to the US, released in 1976 on the Stang Records label. It are the rim shots with Down to Earth. And the rim shots, they were the house band of the label run by Sylvia Robinson. She ran All Platinum and the Stang record label, and it was for the Stang record label that they were mostly the house band for all the artists that released music. And they started out as a funk band, but slowly went of course into the direction of disco. This album, 1976, is right in between. So you have disco touches, but you also have some great funky tracks. And according to Wikipedia, they were the house band, for example, for Hank Ballard, Solomon Burke, but also for Shirley and Company with Shame, Shame, Shame. And that is what you can feel on this album. It's right, that kind of music. And for the next album, we move back to the country where we started, France. An album released by the label Le Disque de Culte. It is really from the golden age of French pornography. It is by Alain Goragueux, Musique Classée X. And it is, I don't want to show the front cover because it's really risky. I will show you the inside of the gatefold, which already gives a suggestion what you can expect. Everybody knows Alain, by the way. He did the soundtrack of Planète Sauvage, really famous album. And I think on the cover he did also some work and wrote some music for what was happening under the sheets. And the next soundtrack of the next track I want to needle drop is from the movie The Swinging Couples on Cruise.